I know you've been talking a lot about putting bigger tires on your TJ. Is still the plan?
Yep, still want to put 35s on.
35s are going to be nice, but we definitely need to reinforce that tailgate and the tire carrier, and this is going to be a nice upgrade. So we're going to be doing today in this video, guys. Stay tuned.
Welcome to TrailRecon. I'm Jordan, and this is my dad, Brad. Today we're going to be installing a tailgate reinforcement and a heavy-duty tire carrier.
Oh, that's it. I'm done. Baton passed, man. You got it. I'm out. What's going on, guys? Today we're working on Jordan's Jeep, and he's ordered some new stuff that we're going to be installing. It should be pretty basic and simple, but let's talk about what you got here and why you got it. So what's this first piece here?
So this is just like some heavy-duty hinges by MORryde, okay. And then a bracket that reinforces the tailgate.
All right, now why did you get this instead of getting a whole new bumper with a tire carrier?
I didn't really like the whole dual action thing, and then I didn't want to add all that weight back there either.
Okay, well this is pretty stout stuff, a nice thick steel. I'm going to add a little bit of weight.
A little bit, yeah.
But not too much. And then what is this component over here?
It's a rugged ridge, just heavy-duty tire carrier.
Okay, and this is all going to bolt on together?
Yep.
And we shouldn't have to do any drilling?
Shouldn't.
Okay, and this is going to allow you to mount up a 35-inch tire, which is going to be heavier, but now we won't have to worry about any hinge failure or anything like that. So it should be pretty straightforward, pretty simple. All right, guys, we're going to get started. We're going to have a little fun in the garage today, and Jordan's going to do all the work. I'm just going to grab the camera and follow you around.
Sounds good.
All right, what's first, Jordan?
Take the spare tire off.
Ooh, that's complicated. Now, because Jordan plans to run a 35-inch tire and a 17-inch rim, that added weight and size of the spare tire is going to put a lot of stress on the stock tire carrier and the tailgate hinge. And the Jeep Wrangler TJ just wasn't designed to handle it. So this is a good preventive upgrade to ensure he doesn't have any issues down the road. All right, next we need to remove the third brake light, and we think the connector is on the other side. Let's take a look, Jordan. Maybe take that plastic piece off, see if it's in there.
Yeah.
There is just a single bolt holding the plastic molding cover on, and then the third brake light positive and negative wires can be easily detached. And then the whole wire loom can be pulled through the tailgate. You have to fight a little bit with the rubber grommet on the outside. Just take your time, no need to scratch the paint here. All right, now Jordan's going to pull these 4 bolts out of here to remove the third brake light. What size are you using?
13.
Okay.
Go through there.
You're a dork. Next, the tire carrier can be easily removed from the tailgate by just removing the 4 bolts holding it into place. Okay, now what are we doing next?
I'm going to take these plastic things off the hinge.
Okay, so after we take these off, we're going to take the hinges off?
Yep.
And then, do we need to support the tailgate or anything?
The instruction says if it's latched, it should just stay in place. So.
Okay, well, hopefully,
We'll see.
That's the case.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yep.
Oh,
that's easier.
That was easier. Next, there are 4 bolts in each hinge holding them into place, and they are painted on, so they will require a little bit of force to get them loose, but then they should come right out. Now, once you remove the hinges, be sure not to disturb the tailgate. You don't want to mess up the alignment. There were many years of dirt and grime behind both the tire carrier and the hinges, so now is a great time to just take a few minutes and clean it up. All right, Jordan, what's next?
Taking these like rubber bumpers off.
Okay, and there's like a Torx bit in there, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to fit. What do you think? Nope. Okay, so you're going to need this guy here. And that's going to be tough. We might have to put like a wrench on there and jerry rig it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so just a little trick to get some leverage on there. You put a wrench around there and at least get it torqued so you can get it started. Until you can start hand tightening it. Don't scratch your paint. Got it?
Maybe.
Okay, so the first thing that Jordan's going to install is this roll bar bracket, and this is actually going to go back here and attach to the roll bar and then attach on the back side of the hinges. So he's got to pull the carpet back, pull that plastic off, but the key thing here is we don't want to take the tailgate off, so he's got to do all this while reaching around because we don't want to mess up the alignment. Uh-oh, that's never a good sign. Okay, what you're about to witness here is not part of the instructions of this install, but I'll explain what we're doing here in just a minute. Turn.
Yeah.
Makes you not want to strip a bolt, huh? Dude, you're sweating.
Yeah, it's hot.
What's the matter with you? Alright, so sometimes it's always the little things that make it the hardest. So we needed to remove the bolt back here holding the seatbelt onto the roll bar so we could get access to this bolt to put that bracket on here. And the challenge is that this bolt that's holding it on here wasn't budging, and so after trial and error, it's now stripped. And so what we're gonna have to do is either drill it or cut it or something, but we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Right now we're just gonna hook up this bracket, and then that way we can finish installing everything here, and then we'll sort that out later. The good news is that we're actually gonna remove the rear seat, so we don't need the rear seat belts. So those were all coming out anyway, just a little hump in the road is all. Now with that bracket installed, it was time to begin installing all the new tailgate hardware. But first, we put anti-seize on all the bolts just so we didn't have any issues later on if we need to remove any for any reason. First, we mounted up the large plate that goes on the tailgate, and it's helpful to have an extra set of hands here. We only installed the bolts hand tight until all the new hinge pieces are in place and aligned. Now we mounted up the support plate that goes around the rear taillight and then loosely bolted up the new hinges. The upper hinge gets bolted all the way through to that triangular mount that we installed earlier. We were going slow here because while the hinge bolts were aligned just fine, the tailgate bolts were not and required a bit more adjusting than we expected. Okay, so we have been having a heck of a time getting the hinges all lined up to get the bolt all the way through into the tailgate. There have been some adjustments that we've had to make. It's been a little frustrating. We actually had to step away, take a break for a little bit. We've almost got it. We at least have the bottom hinge at least loosely fitted. Now we just got to get these top two bolts and the top one done, and then we'll be ready to go. But it's been a little bit of trial and error. Sometimes that happens. I really can't overstate it enough that you need to take your time when you're installing this. Don't force any of the bolts into place. If things don't line up properly, just lift and pull and press until you can get it all to line up easily. Cross-threading on one of these bolts would just add a ton of extra work that you're not going to want to deal with. Take your time here. With the hinges finally aligned and bolted up firmly, we installed the upper and lower tire carrier mount. But wait, why am I doing all this work? Jordan, get over here.
I'm not sure I have enough anti-seize on my hands. I think I need a little more, just in case.
It's a good color for
All right, that's in there. Where's the other one? All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna go wash all this anti-seize off my hands.
Once all the bolts were aligned, Jordan went through and tightened and torqued them all down, and then added the extended pucks on to the bump stops for the tire carrier, and then installed all 3 of those back in. All right, let's test it out, see how it is.
Feels pretty sturdy.
Yeah, close it, let's see how we get. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of work, but that was worth it.
A little bit. It's a lot of work.
Now it was finally time to mount up the tire carrier. There is a small bracket that needs to be bolted up to the tire carrier first. Then it can be installed onto our new tailgate mount with the supplied bolts, lock washers, and nuts. Lastly, Jordan installed the 3 bolts that the tire will be secured to, and then installed the 3rd brake light mount and wired it back up. The good news is that the 3rd brake light will easily clear a 35-inch tire once it's installed. And just one suggestion here, when you first start this project, you may want to remember, was it the white wire on top or on the bottom? Because we had to go reference it and then make a change here. But we did finally get the brake lights to work. I don't know what it is, but sometimes the simple things just take forever.
Yep.
Didn't expect this to take that long.
No,
It was
not at all.
short for these guys. We've been in here a while. Getting that thing lined up was kind of a pain, a little bit.
More than a little bit.
Okay, more than a little bit. And now we got to figure out that seatbelt bolt, so we'll figure that out, pull it out. But we're taking the whole back seat out anyway because you want to have all that extra storage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. The good news is you can put a larger tire on here and that hinge is going to hold up. You're not going to have any failure problems down the road. So
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, just a short little video, and we got a lot more work to do on this, but we'll see you in the next video.